Oh, yeah, it's another episode of Dumb Pitches. This week we have Megan Gailey, and she shares some incredible ideas that working out the kinks might not be that bad. We got a diarrhea patch. We got a show where we talk to people in the airport about their hats, and a Larry Bird joke that she really wanted to work but doesn't seem to work. So you have to let us know if it is that bad of a joke or not. Here we go, Dumb Pitches.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches with Monica Nevi. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. This is the show where we talk to successful people about their worst ideas. I'm very excited for our guest this week. Help me welcome Megan Gailey. Hey.
Wow, it's so nice to be called successful in the log line.
Well, that's it. We wouldn't let you on if you weren't. So
No, I was reading the email in bed last night and my husband goes, "You're successful."
Well, good. I hope he says that to you more often, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be reading my emails over my shoulder, but you know.
I love doing that. Not to my partner, but when I'm on a plane, this is a tangent already, I'm sorry, but when I'm on a plane, if you're on your phone, I'm reading the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, and if you're old and you got that big font, you know I'm reading
yeah,
it.
You're
I'm like, thank you. I love big font.
That is helpful for me, not for you, but for me to be able to read your business. All right, so we do like to start the show by giving everyone your good ideas so that they know you've had good ideas before we get into your bad ideas. Okay. So, Megan Gailey, your credits. You've been on Conan. You have a Comedy Central half hour. You're a writer for the ESPYs. You were on At Midnight. You've been on Pause with Sam J. You have a podcast called I Love a Lifetime Movie, which is great. So you have lots of things that are successful and count as good ideas. So
thank you.
Not only your husband thinks that, but
and I
of our
have
listeners.
2 failed pilots, so those were good ideas at one point that then became bad ideas.
That's good.
So I've had an evolution. Too.
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of the moral of the story. Not necessarily why I started this show, but it does seem like everyone, the more good ideas that they've had more bad ideas. Like it takes bad ideas to have good ideas, so that's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when I sent you the criteria, what did you think of first for your bad ideas?
Well, my first thought was this is going to be hard for me because I think all of my ideas are good ideas. I was like, listen, okay, so I'm like, I need to go into my notes app. That's where I write things down when I'm high.
Yes.
And so I was, scanning through and I'm like, some of this shit is good.
Well, see, okay, so maybe that helped you. Now you wrote it down again and you're like, I gotta do that.
Circle back. I gotta go back to that. That was a great idea. I do have one idea that medical professionals have told me is not good, but okay. I stand by that it is. You have a wedding coming up. I got married. I am someone that I don't even know if I suffer from IBS or if I just eat bad things that make me have diarrhea. And so I was like, there could be nothing worse than having diarrhea on your wedding day. So, unless you have it in the morning and it clears you out, but then
you can't eat after that. I would
I would just like, there's gotta be days where you're just like, I cannot have diarrhea. And so I was thinking of sort of a Nicorette-like patch.
Okay.
That would just give you doses of Imodium AD constantly. So it was like a preventative diarrhea patch.
Okay. And then would you just choose a day where you're like, I cannot shit myself today?
Yeah, like this would be you're testifying in front of Congress, wedding days, Easter probably, I don't know, for some reason. Just like there's days that you're like, this is not a good diarrhea day.
No. Yeah, and there's other days that could be a good diarrhea day if you're just staying at home.
Absolutely. Some days, perfect diarrhea days.
Okay, so I don't think this is that bad of an idea, this is pretty good. But I guess I don't really understand how a patch works, you know? That's probably
I think
there's
that's
some
the issue.
science that needs to go into this that I'm not qualified to answer. But that's not our job. We're idea people, okay?
And what I was trying to say was like, I'm not talking about an all the time thing. You know, like
right, okay.
if it's bad for you, you do need to pick and choose. Okay, one day out of 365, it's okay for me to do my diarrhea patch. That's the science that I was imagining. I think the issue is perhaps scientists that come up with medicine have more important things to be doing, you know, than developing a patch because I eat fettuccine Alfredo and I know it doesn't sit well with me.
That is true. I guess the biggest problem is that maybe there's other ways to, you know, the day before your wedding, maybe don't eat things that might make you shit.
Right. And then you got to really pick the rehearsal dinner spot. My rehearsal dinner was at a bowling alley. So it's like, well, that's diarrhea land.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I might steal that. Sorry.
You can, absolutely. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
But we had pizza, mozzarella sticks, quesadilla,
all the
garlic
dairy.
bread, you know, a diarrhea buffet. But I'm hoping, you know, because like Viagra was not, they did not set out to create Viagra.
Right. It was something
like it was something else. And then they were like, oh, this gives people boners. So I'm hoping, like, you know, they're trying to have some sort of medical breakthrough with cancer. Mm-hmm. And they come across this also could be a diarrhea patch.
Which maybe could happen because a lot of people who are on, what is it, like painkiller drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Then they can't go to the bathroom.
That stops you up. That stops you up big time.
Yeah, so maybe it's some type of that, which I don't know if all cancer researchers are like, well, hopefully this cures IBS. But
right, because at the point
maybe they're
that
not thinking that way.
Cancer being bound up is really lowest.
That's true.
On the priority list.
Probably, yeah.
But nothing, you know, like there is a thin line between like you don't want diarrhea, but you don't want nothing. You just want.
That is true. That can be plenty.
It's so nice to like wake up in the morning, get it going. Then you're like, I'm good to go. I can leave.
Which I feel like used to be so attainable, and now it's like a lot of work to be able to do that. You got to be eating the right things, maybe taking some fiber. You know,
yeah.
I have like 3 other things for myself. It's funny that you bring this up because I do have a joke about IBS right now.
Wow.
But I got like all these other. I take like a little elixir thing for my stomach. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just trying to make it that more consistent every day, not at the wrong time type of situation. So
I have a confession. I'm on a medicine right now that is supposed to cause constipation, and I'm doing fine.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
You're real loose down there anyways, huh?
My mom's a nurse. She's like, are you bound up? I'm like, no. I'm really doing great, actually.
This has helped somehow. This is good.
Yeah.
Would the patch
slowed me down?
Would you put the patch on your stomach or on your shoulder like a
Well, you wouldn't want, that's the thing, you wouldn't want it on your shoulder because if it's your wedding day,
you're that's just true.
Have a dang diarrhea patch on your arm. So I think it would have to be you know where girls used to put the Playboy sticker when they would go tanning?
Yeah,
I think it'd have to be there.
I forgot that people did that.
Yeah, that was. We would have
talking about marketing.
Playboy stickers, palm trees.
That's so funny that we had so many Playboy things, but it's not. Anyways,
we were 14.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is when I tanned. Was like 13 and 14. For homecoming. You know, you got to get your Playboy sticker tan on for homecoming. Oh God, we're dumb. Yeah. Okay. So in that same spot, kind of so then you could hide it under your wedding gown or
unless
whatever
you're
wearing.
You know, one of those sheer. I love when girls on Say Yes to the Dress are like, I want to look like a slut on my wedding day. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, you're like, get that Playboy sticker back on there. Yeah. Here we go.
So they'd have to have it somewhere else. You know, maybe like right on their nipple. if that's the only thing.
It's a good
not
entry point. Yeah, that'll get right in
showing.
there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a pasty. It's pasties. It's
Yes,
the diarrhea
I
pasty.
imagine those girls are not. They don't suffer from diarrhea in the way that maybe the general public does.
I assume that's from not eating as much, but this is me
Right.
stereotyping that person.
Right,
and
because they
I'm
could
sorry.
be laxative gals. And,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And those girls, they'll shit their pants at a Six Flags.
Right, and then just keep on with their day.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't bother them then. Okay. This is good. Let's see. We may need some comments or some messages from more qualified scientists, medical people to say you can't do that. But on the surface, it seems like a pretty good idea.
I feel like I'm pitching it pretty well.
You are, yes. It's relatable. You seem to have done your research. Okay.
I'm a saleswoman.
It's getting picked. I'm waiting for someone to actually get like an investment opportunity from this show.
And like, I honestly, it's like I'm sharing this, hoping someone steals it. Like I won't even.
So then you can use it.
This is what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, and then you can do like some Instagram ads for it, and then they'll give them to you for free and that'll be a whole trade off.
Mm-hmm. I hope they name it, like the Gailey patch.
That's good. Yes.
honor.
My God. Okay. All right. That was diarrhea patch. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you come up with?
Okay. So my next idea also feel like it could happen. This is a TV show idea.
Okay.
I wanted to have a show where I walk around airports and talk to people about their hats.
That's so specific.
Because you see so many different hats at the airport.
Okay. I feel like a lot of people have a travel hat.
Yes.
Like that they maybe aren't normally a hat person, but for some reason when
they're
flying,
going to Mexico and they're like, "Oh, I'm wearing my Neo hat."
My fedora. I gotta use this fedora.
And you got a lot of older white women in sun hats that they probably don't usually. But it's also a major place for athletic. Like if you are a sports fan, you are wearing your team at the airport, especially if it's in season.
Yes.
So it's like I have seen people in Jacksonville Jaguars hats and been able to be like, because I love to talk to people, any stranger. Like some people hate the airport. I'm like, boy, get me in there. I can't wait to make some friends.
There's so many people to talk to here.
And so I'll see somebody in a hat and I'm like, you excited about Trevor Lawrence? And then I have a new friend at a Chili's.
Well, and they weren't expecting that for sure. So
no,
that's good. Okay. So, all right. It seems like, again, maybe you've had some experiences that would help you. You'd be a good host for that, now I'm thinking so critically about why people are wearing hats. Like, why is the older women, which is very common in the airport, wearing the sun hat on the plane? Like, why didn't you pack it somewhere? They don't want to squish it?
It's really hard to pack hats.
Okay, that's why. So people are
And in the old days, like my grandmother, they used to call her the hat lady. And so I come by this honestly.
This is how the intro starts. You have this whole family connection to hats.
I come from a long line of hats and a long line of people with skin cancer. So it's not only, it's a passion, but it's also life-saving for
Right, I get it. So
family.
Maybe that was more of a practical reason they had the hats because of the cancer.
Yes. But my grandmother would have these like really beautiful hat boxes. And this is, when you see pictures from like the 60s on planes and everyone is like in a suit and smoking cigarettes and you're like, God, the plane looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There used to be hat boxes, but now it's like, I have a hat I love because I bought it on Amazon and I bought it because you're supposed to roll it up.
Oh, because you can mess it up. Yeah, that's true. But now I think, so I pretty much only wear like baseball hats if I do wear a hat for the most part. And what I do is I put it like fold it like that and put it in my backpack so that the bill is kind of sticking up so that it doesn't get squished. But I had to think about it. That makes sense that you bring in your hat to wherever you're going and you don't want to break the bill or
No.
crumple it up.
No.
Unless
With
you have a
sun
cool
hat,
Amazon one.
Sometimes, because I have big sun hats, and it's like, I'm from Indianapolis. You don't want to be in Indianapolis December in like a massive, giant hat. Everybody's like, look at this asshole. So like sometimes I'll put underwear and bras in the hat and then plop it down in the suitcase, but it comes out and it doesn't look. It still gets messed up.
Well, right. Then you got to I don't know, try to fluff your hat back up.
Yeah.
And it's...
I did wear a hat on my honeymoon, and we did almost miss our flight. And when we got on, I did make a man move seats. My husband was like, "You are a villain on this plane."
You're channeling the hat. Where did you guys go for your honeymoon?
We went to Hawaii.
Okay. So that, you need a sun hat for that. And
yes. And the man I made move was like a rich old white man. And I made him move for my Filipino husband. And it's like, get up, motherfucker. You owe him. I go, it's our honeymoon. You're going to separate this beautiful interracial couple? You monster.
Get out of the way.
Okay, but here's why I am less keen on the idea.
Okay.
Now, I really don't want to spend that much time in an airport.
That's what I was thinking, especially not going anywhere. Like, wouldn't you just
No.
you'd, like walk around and talk to people, and what airport I think would make a difference too?
Yeah,
Are you doing?
yeah.
Or is it LAX or is it?
And LAX is probably one of the worst places I've ever been in my life.
Oh, I hate it. It
and
is
so
trauma
it's like I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Burbank, you're really only going to get people in, Guy Fieri hats.
Yeah, and they're not, and there's not as many
No.
options. There's only a few gates at Burbank if you've never been. So then,
And
do
if
you go
someone's in a
somewhere?
hat I hate, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Am I going to be forced to go talk to them?
That's
even
true.
though
They're like, we need-
production's like, come on.
that's true. There are logistical complications here.
Yeah.
But maybe you solely go to the bars at the airport, because then you would probably be a bit more sports fans in general. So that's always easy, not easy, but good conversation. Or there are some like real rich bitches that come in there sometimes. At the airport.
But at least it's like, when I do go into an airport bar, I am like, listen, I'm not gonna agree with all these people on like fandom politics, but we do like an airport bar. And
That's
so it's
true.
like that is
Yes.
a common denominator.
Yeah.
I just remembered, a lot of military people fly in their little like army hats.
Yeah, that's true. Which is everyone loves a troop story.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Unless
good.
it's very, very, very sad.
That's true. Well, a tearjerker's never not going to get views. You know what I mean? You're just going to have to try and watch it alone.
Mm-hmm. They're like, I'm like, why are you traveling? And they're like, I was a deserter. I'm being sent home.
But that dude was like, sure, I'll do your interview show.
Yeah. I'm like, they let you keep the outfit. That's nice.
He's like, well, I wanted to get on the plane first.
Yeah, I wanted to board before the dogs. So
That is, do you have to show them your military ID when you get on first, or do you just walk up there?
I think you're supposed to be in uniform. My brother's in the military, and he goes on when his carry-on is like his camo backpack, and I'm like, okay, we see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
And so they like believe him, but then he'll try and get me going with him, and it's like, this is some Private Benjamin shit. No one believes
Like, I don't.
that I am in the military.
You got your
Ryan.
sun
I will
hat
just-
on, just trying to get on. Yeah, they're like,
I'll board with Group B, and you go and shake everybody's hand.
right. I just had never thought about. I see them get on before me, but
It's the least we can do.
for sure.
I'm like, children should board last.
Yeah,
Fuck them.
absolutely.
military
They
on.
haven't done shit for us yet.
No, and like, why would you want your kid on longer?
That's true.
I don't. I
think about
never
that all the time.
understand the children rushing to get on.
I mean, I travel so much for comedy that I do have status on the airline. I have
Yes.
chosen Alaska. Go Alaska.
Okay.
And so I get on first, usually right after the military people. And then I'm like, do I just want to sit here for longer, though, while all these dummies walk down the aisle? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's that much of a good thing.
I'm a Delta gal,
Okay.
and I have status, and I do like to get on first and watch everybody like I am better than them.
That is fun, especially when you've been moved up to first class, which luckily does happen when you have status quite often, because nobody's fucking buying those tickets, it turns out. They're just waiting to be moved up there. Yeah. So yes, then you do get to. I like to travel and look like shit at the same time. That's what I'm up to.
Yeah.
I like my sweatpants and team gear usually.
Yeah.
So
hair looking a mess, no makeup.
Yes, absolutely. And so I enjoy the most when people stand up too early to get in line to get on the plane, and then they're like, first class, and I'm like, just looking like shit walking through. That's me. Excuse me.
One of my favorite things. I was flying for work to the Super Bowl in first class, and like celebs had to walk past me, and it's like, I bet you're wondering whose dick I had to suck to be up here.
Yeah,
but it's my own. And I was like, keep it moving, Megan Trainor. Like it felt good to just be. And everyone else, like, that's how you know that we're not supposed to be in first class, because we're like looking around.
Because we're like staring at it. Do you see me? Look at me.
They've like turned. They want no one to see them. They've got an eye mask on, and I'm like, hello, hi, I'm here, 4B.
We were going to a wedding with my parents, and we were going to Cancun, and I had been moved up to first class, and they had not. And so I filmed them walk past me. So
great.
So yeah, I'm clearly like, I'm not supposed to be here, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, give
my
me that
husband
champagne.
sits in coach.
I got moved up. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
And I'm like, he loves sneakers. I like free drinks in plastic cups.
There you go.
So we spend our money differently.
It's free. Okay. All right. The hat show. I was like, I forgot what we were talking about.
The hat show. That's the thing. It's not a great idea because we already forgot why we were talking about it.
So many other things at the airport, I guess. I like the idea that the drunker you guys got at the sports bar, the more interesting those hat stories would be. Okay. All right. What do you have a name for it?
Talking hats with Meg.
Talking hats. That's pretty good. What are you guys doing today on the show? Talking hats.
We're talking hats. We're gonna see what hat we got at Columbus International Airport.
Nice. I mean, you could just kind of start a series when you're traveling, and then just bombard people.
And if it's just on your cell phone, I don't think they have to sign a waiver.
That's true. Yeah. This is just for me. I'm not putting this up anywhere.
You're like, I am going to put it on my socials, but they don't get a lot of numbers.
Yeah, no worry. No one's going to know. Do you want me to tag you? Or Okay. And then you said maybe you have one more.
I have a joke that I was asking my husband for feedback on some of my worst ideas, and I actually got upset because this is his favorite joke of mine, but he said I should do it. And I'm like, so you think it's bad? And he's like, no, I love it, but no one else does.
You guys have a wonderful relationship.
We really do. It's really, really special. And people watch us and go, wow, you guys should write a book.
Relationship goals.
So I used to do a joke that I've now abandoned, where I'm from Indianapolis. My parents lived there, and Larry Bird lived in their neighborhood. And he does not live there anymore. And he had a dog, Buddy Bird, and you would only ever see Larry out when he was walking Buddy.
Yeah.
And Larry Bird is like doing regular dog owner stuff. Like he is picking up Buddy Bird's poop. And my joke was just like, does Buddy Bird know who that is? Like, is he like, man, I got Larry Bird to pick up my poop? Or like bystanders being like, that's the greatest basketball of all time. And he's like, him? Treats man?
Yeah.
Just the confusion. It was an act out of me as Larry Bird's dog. and no one likes it. As you can hear from the way I'm telling it, I can't even remember parts of it. But my husband really thought it was going to be, the thing that blew the roof open for me.
He's like, this is really going to be what you're known for. This Buddy Bird impression.
And it's, the joke is called Larry Bird's dog. And I've tried to make it work so many different ways. And I don't know if people get caught up on how do your parents live in a neighborhood with Larry Bird?
Yeah, maybe they
But
could
it's
get
like
past
his
that
house way
part.
bigger. They live in what I would call a tiny mansion. He's in a giant mansion.
Right. Well, it's gotta be. He's huge. That was my first thought, was that the dog, because he's so tall. Well, what kind of dog is it? Do you know?
It was a like a golden retriever, like a blonde lab golden, one of those.
Okay, so not like a tiny dog or
classic
anything.
American, no, big dog,
Right.
big dog.
Yeah. I don't know why it's. I mean, it's funny
he
to
looks
think
like
of
Larry Bird.
a tiny
He looks
dog.
like Larry Bird.
Yeah,
They
he's
look alike.
kind of
They have the same hair.
golden lab of people.
Mhm.
That would just take. He would just him picking up his poop is such a. It's such. It's a far way to bend down. I mean, I've seen so many documentaries about him and his back being such an issue for him. So now I'm just imagining him having to pick up dog shit.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I would tag it by being like, you'd see him sometimes driving in his Range Rover and think that it was Butthead from Beavis and Butthead. Like that is like his head, his profile is very Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, definitely.
In a Range Rover. But it wasn't connecting.
It just wasn't getting through. That is, I mean, I wonder. So I struggle with doing basketball jokes. I played basketball in college, and
Whoa, really? Where at?
I played at Seattle University.
This is so exciting. You're a hooper.
Yeah. So I have some jokes, but it's not. I struggle sometimes with the audience needing to know enough about the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if some people were like, I mean, as offensive as that is to me, didn't know who Larry Bird was. Did you explain a little bit if they were confused by that?
I assume that everyone knows who Larry Bird is.
Should.
And I also assume that if you live in Indiana, people think you know Larry Bird.
That's okay.
Because people will be like, "Are you from where Larry Bird is from?" I'm like, "No one is from there." That is like
right.
tiny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I definitely, because
he's not even
everyone
from
in
there
Indiana has a Mellencamp story or has a Bird story
Got
or Jared the Subway guy. Like it's not the social scene's not bustling. So you're gonna rub shoulders with the movers and shakers,
right?
And so it's just like, yeah, it's, and then other basketball players moved in. So it wasn't just Larry Bird there. Then there would be other Pacers players. But I'm not trying to tell a Victor Oladipo joke, because then
well, now he's on The
Masked
Masked Singer, so they might know him now.
Exactly. And he did a beautiful rendition of Casey Musgrave's Rainbow. And I cried. I think he's an amazing singer. But it's that's something for just Monica and me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
much.
girls gabbing about
Fair.
Oladipo's
Basketball. Yeah.
voice. But I'm like, I did babysit kids in Brooklyn once, and they did not know who Michael Jordan was.
They didn't know who Michael Jordan was? All right, we're in
No,
trouble
and I
now.
was like, whoo, boy. And they were in 5th grade and 1st grade. And I'm like, maybe they're 5th grade. Even just as a metaphor,
Right.
that's the Michael Jordan of
cleaning
the sidewalk in Brooklyn. He's used so often.
I think that's true, though. We have a son, and he just turned 8, and we watched Space Jam, and he actually didn't even know who LeBron was. So then I had to kind of explain, and then now he thinks that both of them, LeBron James and Michael Jordan, are just the dudes that were in Space Jam. So
Which is
fine. But it's and I get So maybe as time goes on, Larry Bird's going to get harder to talk about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see a baby recently, it was on TikTok, and a baby pointed at a cereal box that LeBron was on and said, "Baby LeBron." And so I was like, I want that kid.
Yeah.
That kid is smart.
He knows. Well, and I think that has a lot to do with the parenting. So we're attempting, but I just don't know if he's going to be a basketball player. We're trying. I got him some shorts and a basketball of his own because he kept trying to take mine for his birthday. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's really cute. That's really sweet.
We're trying.
Yeah, my husband desperately wants us to have a hooper, and it's like, you just got to let him be good at what they like.
Well, and so I'm not his biological mother. I am the stepdad. And his actual mother was a musical theater performer. Started when she was like 5, very focused. Me as an athlete decided in like first grade basketball was what I wanted to do. And he's older than that now. And we're like, well, he's not going to have any direction. Yeah.
What's your thing?
Right. Pick it now. No. Yeah, we'll see. But
well, that's good. I mean, he won't have Tommy John surgery at like 14, which happens now. So that's a positive.
Yes, that's true. We do try to keep it positive. We think it's going to be nerd stuff, video games.
Yeah, he'll be a jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh man, okay. These were great, honestly. Overall, not too. I think you could make an argument for all of them at
Thank
being
you.
Could be good, could be medically unsafe. We don't know, but
I can't wait for this to come out and people to be like, no, I know this bitch. I know some bad ideas she has.
They're like,
and I'm
"No,
like,
we've seen
no,
some
I
versions."
didn't say that. No. Scrub it from the internet.
That's great. Well, okay. So if people do want to find you, where can they follow you or come see you perform, or how do we find you on the internet?
Yeah, so I host a podcast called I Love a Lifetime Movie, where my co-host Naomi Ekperigan, who's a really, really funny stand-up, we watch a different Lifetime movie each week and then recap it, review it. We are Lifetime sanctioned, so we do get to interview all of the stars. We've gotten to interview Fran Drescher.
Oh,
yeah, big
Well, that's
time.
exciting.
Big time. So yeah, we have a lot of fun doing that, and a lot of our listeners do not even watch the movies. Just listen to
they're like,
us.
you watch it for us, and then
Yeah,
okay,
they're like
nice.
Sleepwalking in Suburbia. I missed that one, and it's like, oh, we'll catch you up. And then sometimes I do a YouTube show. It's kind of defunct. It's in and out, but it's sports.
Nice.
And then you can find me at Better Megan Gailey on Instagram, and then just Megan Gailey on Twitter.
Nice. Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming on and sharing your ideas. We will keep our eyes open for the hat show too. Talking hats.
Thank you. I think this could be its big break.
I think so too. I think they're pretty passionate, our listeners. So, and if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can subscribe to this channel. You can also rate and review and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Google, I don't know, wherever you're listening. And you're already on the app, so you might as well then go find I Love a Lifetime Movie right after that. We also have YouTube memberships, which give you early access to this show. We have behind the scenes from this show. I also have full stand-up clips of mine, including a brand new one where I just am extremely inappropriate with the audience for a full 15 minutes. So check that out. And right now, you can just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.